and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby where I have Nymaera and Trymbi with me. Trymbi, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the win.
Hello.
How do you feel now? Relieved, pressure, like...
I mean, the thing is that it was not too much of a relief.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm so happy about, I would say, in a sense. Because this game, it was not like, it was not like so hardly fought that, we are doing like bad and then we would do
you just
something
stomp
good.
them, it's so easy.
No, not this
emotions
way. It's
involved.
like, it was actually really well fought by us. I felt like we were always in the driver's seat. We might have not been too aggressive in a sense, because we are not like taking every single possibility in the game. But I think the ones that we took, we are pretty well aware of what we want to do. And I'm happy that, we managed to do it that way. It was like really nice. This game was like very nice. It was like kind of a reliever at the same time when you look at the other games right that we played. So it was really nice.
We've heard a lot of pros. I mean, this is a great montage clip. Like you can just make this is it. You know, this is enough plays to like make anyone else's year. For you, it's just one game. We've heard a lot of pros, a lot of support players talk about the ranged AD carry support meta and how they feel about it. I think it was Carrier just said he wanted to play Nautilus. That was pretty awesome. But do you have any particular feelings? Do you have any particular feelings about the AD carry support meta? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you care?
I'm personally kind of. On the one hand, I'm kind of happy because I know that I can play those champs. Not every single. Ash is like one of the easier ones for sure because it's also like a utility champion. But I'm like quite confident with like my other champions that I can pull off. But on the other hand, it kind of disgusts me the way the meta turns out to be, in a sense that in order to like win lane, you need to go like two Hell of Blades champions, completely fist fight level 1-2, and just make sure that the enemy cannot breathe in game. And that's pretty much how it works right now, and it's good, but it's really a bit toxic. On the other hand, I feel like
this is what you have to stoop down to play.
I mean, obviously, if you're not able to like actually pull it off in game, these champions completely fall off. If they don't get like resources and they don't get advantages through basic early game, and that's like something that is a little bit fair about them. But that's pretty much it.
I'm wondering though, because you say all this and the fact that, and this is something we've been talking about on the desk, the fact that usually everything is decided after the first two waves and the trades you're going to take. So do you think that the diversity that we can see on bot lane right now actually doesn't matter so much because you're mostly looking at the same things, even though you can play multiple champions?
I think there can be more diversity, but I don't think it's going to be picked up so much, I would say.
Anything you can say?
Nah, I don't. I want to pick up wins, that's for sure. I don't want to pick up any new champs for now. But yeah, it's like, I feel like there are like some champions that are very known to people. And like, for instance, Ashe was always like kind of a pick for like a year now, I would say.
Anyone who's played ARAM could tell you that.
Yeah, that's true too, even though she got quite nerfed now on the ARAM with the poke build. So yeah, that's it. But then obviously Carrier makes like sure that he can just showcase that he can play every single other champion. That's amazing. That's for sure amazing to watch. And I'm like, it's so nice to just look at it and like see how beautiful the league can be like from the laning phase perspective. But yeah, like if there is a matchup that is really not good for you, and then enemy support or like both bot laners are able to actually pull off the other side. Good luck. It's gonna be a roughie. It's gonna be a roughie, sadly. And I don't know if it's like a Hell of Blades problem that the guy can just, free shots you. Also, it's like a support item problem with like mana.
I was about to mention this Spectral and also Spell Thief, maybe being a bit too strong in the income you generate from gold.
Yeah, as well as the mana that they give.
This is your moment. You can
it's
tell
fine.
them how to balance it.
I don't feel like. I think there's enough Twitter analysts, like people that are actually experts, and some of them are actually quite good at it, I would say. So I mean, if they want to kind of change it this way, I saw that they want to change some of the champions and like next patch. But to me, at least, those changes are like, I'm not too sure about them. I think they're more of like the way they buff like Alistar and some champs. I feel like
if you win lane, it's great.
No, I feel like they would go to like top now or something. The way they like actually put the buffs out, you know, like, because for me, like, I don't really care if Alistar gets like 0.2 buff on the Q with AP ratios. I'm like, I'm gonna build one item, which is Relic Shield, and that's it. I don't really care about the AP ratio, but maybe it's, you know, it gets to the break point where like I completely one-shot the guy. I'm not sure.
That reminds me of like Season 8.
Maybe they checked it, maybe they didn't, but yeah, for now the meta is kind of like this, but it's a lot of variety. On the other hand, I cannot be like really skeptic about it and be negative. I feel like, you know, it's like, I like it way more now that you can just play this into like Lucian Nami and try to like actually stomp it, and they cannot really like play the game for early levels, and if you get advantages, it's even harder. But obviously, if like Lucian Nami gets a fine state, then they will take over like they do for like 2 years now. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that I'm happy that it's not like Zeri, Yuumi, Lucian, Nami, Kingdom anymore, and that you can see a lot of more diversity on bot lane, especially. We'll see what the next patch can bring. We'll see that during the group stage next week. But talking about today, you guys, again, congrats on picking up this one. It hasn't been easy for Koi. No, but that's true. It hasn't been easy. But this tweet is amazing. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. You're amazing. Always. You should follow her.
It's very
really,
nice.
Really good.
Yeah, you should
the
follow.
water is now warmer and less nasty, and his flappy flap.
You should really follow our manager of Koi.
She's
doing
awesome.
a lot of things.
And really funny once again. I mean, yeah, it was a good day for you guys. You didn't have so many lately, and I remember that Larson was telling in an interview that changing top lane didn't really affect the dynamic of the team that much. Even though they play completely different style between Shiganda and Odoamne. But what have been the struggles for Koi? How would you explain everything? And do you feel like this win today is the beginning of new happier days, maybe?
I mean, I cannot tell you if it's like a start of something. I would like it to be, for sure, but you never know. I think this win is like really nice pickup, I would say. The way we played it was really nice to see. And I feel like everyone is pretty much happy of our game, I would say, from the team, at least perspective. Maybe, you know, maybe we could play a little bit more aggressive and stuff, but compared to the other games that we played, I feel like we still did way more than we do normally. So, or like what we did before. So that's like a good step up that shows that, you know, our like practice is getting better and better. But still, there's quite a bit of things to do. And like before, like coming back to your first question, like for sure, I mean, the dynamic, as you said, like I agree with it. I don't think it changed much, if it even had changed at all. It's like more of a mental struggle, I would say, this split.
Not to cut into you hard here, but last summer, it also felt like, you know, Rogue back then, that different roster, but, you know, 4 are the same there. I think the quote from Odoamne was that something just clicked in Malmö when you were on the road at that point. When you look at how things kind of, that mental shift changed back then and led you to a title, could you see that happening this split with this group of players? Some just kind of mental shift?
No, I mean, for sure. I think it's just, I mean, that time, I don't think it was like a mental problem more. I think it just clicked at the time, and that's something that I will agree with. Although it's like
we're being very specific here.
It really just clicked, like in essence, and everything seemed to work for us at the time. And now, obviously, not many things were working for us until now, let's say. And it's like for sure, mental is like something that, I mean, I don't know if like my whole team was struggling, because, you know, I don't want to go in depth into this, because you know, I will not like assume or like say stuff that they tell me, but like I can tell for like my view is that, I mean, I personally had like not the best time right now, and it's been quite hard to get back to actually playing the way we normally do, I would say. And also just, like I was not in a good mental state for sure for like most part of the season, I would say. And it's like it's just so hard to come back as a reigning champion, I would say, and just, you know, just showcase that you might just drop games out of nowhere and you don't play the level you actually want to. And that's something that was not really something that I was for sure not satisfied, right? Like I was like quite devastated by that.
For me, that makes it even more impressive that you can have a game like that today against the first place team, because actually, you know, you come back with this, and that didn't look close.
Wait, they're actually first, I forgot.
Wow. Oh no, that small thing.
My bad,
crazy.
yeah.
But you mentioned something that I found really interesting, and again, thank you for opening up about this. I think it's not easy, but I know that VTO tweeted something last week about, especially given Excel and the awful start they had to the season, talking about confidence especially, and how after a couple games like this, when you have so much expectations around you and the results don't come up right away, especially because of the new format and the fact that you have only 3 weeks before dropping out, this is when you lose confidence usually. Would you say that it's, you were talking about the mental state you were in, would you say it was due to confidence also, because as you were coming back as the reigning champions, maybe you had some expectations that you set yourself or that the community set for you maybe. But with this pressure, do you think it affected you when you started dropping some games?
I mean, for sure it was there. I mean, I personally don't really pick up too much pressure from the outside world, because I kind of put too much pressure anyway on myself, like as a
always been perfect,
as a person. So it's more maybe the pressure I put more to kind of like made me feel this way. Because just it didn't feel right that the way we played before, it just I couldn't really see it right now. And it used to be like this before too, right? But obviously this time around it was like a bit harder to like actually, I mean, swallow like as a pill, in a sense that you just can't agree with the fact that you play like this, and it feels not easy to change it. And that's something that, right, like I'm happy that the game that happened today made it feel like it's really not the way I used to think, and it's just now it might be go easier and easier.
Step by step, yeah.
You said you'd been through that before. Do you think experiencing that before helped you try and overcome it this time? Do you think there's any similarities between the two? Going through it before, did it help?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I have a lot of, I felt like, throughout these years, I experienced quite a lot of different feelings, emotions, and overall situations. So I feel like a lot of times I know how to deal with them. I guess it's just, kind of a team thing where like I'm still not there yet to know exactly what to do in specific moments. And I feel like also as a team, right, we don't like, sometimes it's not easy to cooperate with each other like on the best level to actually make things work the best way possible. But, getting out of this negativity or like saying stuff like this, like I really think we're fine. It's like nothing.
You had a great win today.
Like nothing.
Again, it makes it more impressive.
Like I say all of this stuff, but it's not like we're like down, downhill. We're like completely bent up. That there's nothing we can do. It's really not like this. Maybe even though it might felt this way, in a sense, it's just like right now we just have to play the way we showcased today or even better. And we'll see if the wins come. If not, like, I mean, I'm not sure how it looks for. We're not settled yet to get the get the playoff spot. So we still need to fight quite a lot this week. But I'm looking forward to those games for sure.
Top 6 is locked for now, but we'll come back to this one a bit later. But you were mentioning your games and your performance. You're going to have a big one to play tomorrow in Match of the Week versus G2.
Yes.
We know how semifinals went. Highly in favor of former Rogue, now Koi. Match of the Week, Trymbi, tomorrow. What can we expect from you and G2? Because this is something we mentioned also. Hansama used to play with this team. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, especially on the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Playing with Hans whole year, like I just kind of know, the way he likes to play, and it kind of showcased this split. I feel like he just plays the way he always loved to play, and I'm really happy for him that he actually managed to, pull so many wins just by doing the play style that he likes.
Oh,
right?
But you're not going to let him do that tomorrow, right?
I mean, you never know. Like, I don't know. It always depends as well, right, on like how we draft, what we want to achieve. It's like, I might let him do that. You never know if he's going to win because of that or not, right? Like, we don't know. I'm not sure yet what's going to be like the actual thing. But I mean, for sure, playing against Hans, like right after he came from NA and not seeing him for like a year, and now being like in the enemies where he plays the way he plays, like there will be for sure a different feeling. Because I remember those times, right? The Rogue 2K21 when I think on bot lane, I think we're doing really well. Like, I mean, pretty similar to with comp right now, like previous year, but it was right. Like I was at the time kind of learning how to play bot lane on an LEC level, and Hans pretty much showcased that yeah, you can play the bot lane meta in a sense and play the bot lane matchups the way that nobody can like even match at the time, and that's something that as well I felt like during last year, right, with comp. So that's something that will be interesting to see. Obviously, we didn't really get too many solo bolos past couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm looking forward anyway to play against them and the whole G2 cause G2 squad looks promising, looks good.
Right.
And they're quite all right. Yeah, I can agree with that. And yeah, we just need to see how things can be done tomorrow.
Nymaera, when we came into the studio today, we hyped up this match, saying that given Koi's situation, it's not going to be an easy one because G2 is performing so well. But after seeing them play like this and bouncing back against Vitality, I'm just wondering what kind of matchup we can expect tomorrow. Did you want to review what we said at the beginning of the day?
What we said at the beginning of the game was beginning of the day is like, oh, okay, well, you've got some inconsistencies going around right now. Maybe some of the coordination's not quite there. We know how good the bot lane can be, though. Yeah. Can you stand up to do that? And of course, we just talked a little bit now about not necessarily not knowing what you're going to do right now. You probably won't know that until you get into game and after the draft happens. GT use some weird drafts. But I think there was a lot of important stuff that we saw today from Koi. It felt like you were a lot more calm in the way that you approached the game. It wasn't as much kind of like panic, for want of a better word, and it felt like it was much more control to particularly get like yourself and Larson into a great mid-game point where you can actually play the map. So for me, if that's what we see tomorrow, it's going to be really interesting to see that that kind of style against G2's typically more fast-paced style too. But again, today they played a slower pace too. So if we're getting what we came to expect of them, faster paced snowbally G2 versus from what we saw from Koi today, a bit more controlling. I think it'll be a really good mental battle to see how fast the game goes and to see if the game gets away from Koi or whether G2 stall out.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger for sure, but that's not the only match we have, as we will take a look at the rest of the schedule. That's a one-game day, actually,
yeah. Sorry, no more games.
Tomorrow, and we have Astralis versus Fnatic in Game 4, which is going to be huge in the fight for top 8. Let's remind you that top 6 is locked for now, and in our first game, Excel are in a tough spot. They cannot lose a single game now. Otherwise, if they lose this one against SK, they're out. And we saw some better things from them today, but it's still not enough for me to have hopes for this team.
Especially after the early game that SK had. Won't talk about the mid and the late game because, of course, that got a little bit awkward for them. But looking at XL, they're really struggling to find that first building block. It actually reminds me a little bit of, say, BDS from last year. I was chatting to Matty around the kind of times when BDS last year were kind of struggling, and it felt to that team, they didn't even have a starting point to build on.
Yeah.
With XL, I feel kind of similar, where actually, you have a lot of very talented individuals. They absolutely know how to play the game, but it's just not working. And getting that ball rolling in the first place, it feels like it's too late at this point, but they've got to start somewhere.
Trymbi, any take on XL? And
it's okay. They have Adam.
I mean, they
have Adam.
I hear he'd be a pretty good teammate.
They'll
make it work or something.
They'll make it work, I think. I mean, maybe not, but I think Odo, I always I respect Odo so much, and I believe that, things can be done still. I don't think he has given up yet, that's for sure. So we'll see how he goes. I don't know about others, because I don't know others of their team too much, but I know Odo, and yeah, I'm hoping for good games for sure.
All right, well, we hope for good games also in the LEC. I want to look at the tiebreaker scenario for XL, because we had some information about this. Because, yeah, as of now, their fate is not entirely in their own hands, even though with 2 wins, currently they can only make it through a tiebreaker, which can happen in 15.6% of the remaining scenarios. It doesn't look good.
No,
TLDR, it doesn't
it could look worse though.
It could look worse. I mean,
if I was XL, I feel like 15 is quite big.
I remember the Schalke days with 2%.
Yeah. Okay, but still, I mean, I don't know. I feel like 15 is still like.
We had the Trev talk earlier on the Telestrator where he was kind of going through all the scenario. I'm coining that phrase. Trev talks will be a thing.
Trev talk, we're naming it like this. It's going to be.
I'm pretty sure that relied on Fnatic losing to Astralis as well. Yeah. It's like if that other scenario happens, then it just there's no chance at all, which is obviously very rough. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
The fact that there is a number there, though, which isn't 0, that's something. We can work with that.
We take those. As long as there's hope, maybe they can do something. Trymbi, any other surprises maybe for you in this split so far? Any teams you would have seen higher? Teams overperforming maybe? We've been talking about BDS, about SK. What's your view on the split so far?
I was focusing more on our job, to be done. But I mean, for sure, SK and BDS both are doing quite well, right? Like, I don't think anyone would expect it to look this way. I think SK, they looked quite strong, at least in scrims from what I heard. So that was like something that people were talking about. But you could see that they got more and more comfortable on stage, and it felt like they were doing better and better. And there are like obviously other teams, right? Team Heretics is doing not bad. Obviously, I mean, they have Jankos there, right? So
I hear he's okay.
The second and like the only Polish guy right now here. So I hope that he also will do well. And yeah, overall, like I think there's a lot of like good teams, I would say, right now. And I think the split looks quite better than last year, I would say, at least. So that's something to like for sure be happy about. But also due to the format, it looks this way too, right? I would say like, if we had a little bit more time, you never know what would happen with all the things. But that's what makes the format exciting. That's what I think everyone should appreciate right now.
It is less forgiving, but also more hype, I think, for the majority of the league. Trymbi, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will try again to take the PGL selfie with this Polaroid machine that I do not, that I can't use yet quite, but okay.
It looks like it's going to start like putting out steam, like a steam.
I will do my best. It ended well last time with Jankos.
Okay.
Wait, let me go. Okay, so it went out. I will take a second one. It's fine. It's fine.
Can we get a different camera operator?
I kind of want to see how this one looks like. All right. It's super sensitive. Okay. Nymaera, you're not... Okay, all good.
I'm trying. Second tries the charm, I guess.
Second tries the charm. We'll see. I'll post on Twitter how this one turns out. Two more spots, in the group stage are for grabs. You don't want to miss the action tomorrow when we return at 6 p.m. You want to say something, Trymbi?
No.
No?
Okay. No, I don't have to say anything. I just, I felt a little bit awkward. Now I'm fine. Yeah,
now we're fine. Okay. Well, thank you so much for following today. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, you can catch the rebroadcast beginning in just a few minutes. Wishing you good night, bonne nuit, et à demain.
We're really professional here. We're awesome at this. We're great. Great cameras, great intros, outros. We got it all here.
Everything is fine.
The third week of the LEC Winter Split starts today. There are 15 games left until we conclude the regular season and eliminate 2 teams until spring. That's right, we are eliminating 2 teams this weekend.
No one here is safe. Like, no one's going to be happy with this.
30 seconds, damn, guys. No pressure.
No pressure, man.
They walk on mid here. They walk on mid. They die. Look on his karma. Look on his karma.
I don't know.
Oh, jump it.
Nice.
No, don't tell me he's annoyed to be 2
Summer uses the heal.
It doesn't have to be 2 kill.
It's a 2v2. It's not going to be enough. Who's going to die? It's going to die.
Here comes Marcoon, Cease, and desist! They could get on a surprise. Accelerated shotwise, bring the hammer down! The Mercurial hammer, and Jose forced to flash away to safety. The shockwave is gigantic from Ruby. 110 gets the heal from the ebb and flow, sidesteps away the Mystic Shot, the double! Axa kick! First blood again!
But the damage from the right is absurd. Realm walk forward. Where are you gonna go, BDS? Because G2 are on the hunt.
Wow, this TP is a bit confusing. The timing.
The arrow. Oh, she just steps straight into it. A sitting duck.
SK smell the barrel! Finn lands a beautiful barrel! Hey, look for the barrel! Look for the barrel! Doss loses 80%! He gets a line! It's over! How did Astralis do it? They take down SK!
Astralis with the miracle comeback in the last week to try and get themselves into groups.